How's it going, everybody? My name is Vindicate700, and today I got with me my boy Carta Krimson. Introduce yourself.
What's good? What's good? Just the Crimson on PSN, but yeah, Carta Crimson when I'm in the studio. So thank you.
And today we are going to be doing something new. It's kind of like a podcast type thing. So, yeah, this is the first ever one, and hope y'all enjoy.
All right. So first off, we were talking about Marvel before, so I mean we can dive into that. Like I said, there's a growing theory that there is going to be a Spider-Verse in the MCU, and that Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield will reprise their roles. Like the theory right now that's getting a lot of buzz is that Tobey Maguire, the actor, will be playing not Peter Parker as Spider-Man, but Ben Parker from a different multiverse. I think that opens up the door for a lot of cool stuff, but at the same time, I feel like it could muddle stuff, especially by the time we get to Doctor Strange.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that, like, in Doctor Strange 2, that Andrew Garfield and Peter Parker and Tobey Maguire were going to be characters, and, like, it was just a screenshot I saw on Instagram, but, like, I don't know, I get, it kind of looked pretty real, to be honest.
I could see it being in this. Well, I could really see it being in Doctor Strange before the the Spider-Man movie. Like, I think Doctor Strange is going to be a connecting piece. I think whatever happens in the Multiverse of Madness is going to echo through the MCU, and maybe what he does is going to be what triggers the events in WandaVision. If Scarlet Witch doesn't do it herself, which, if anyone reads the comics, she's more than capable of altering reality, and that's something I'd love to see.
Yeah, but, like, we've seen with Dragon Ball Z, if you fuck with, or sorry, this YouTube's gonna demonetize me for saying that, but, like, we've seen that if you mess with history too much, there are always consequences.
And see, if you open up the multiverse, though, like, you also open it up for the Fox characters to make a return. I also saw that Hugh Jackman is supposedly in talks with Marvel. I think they need to let that version of Wolverine go. Like, we need a Wolverine from the comics, like a short, stout, hairy little Canadian beaver man. Like, that's what we need. We need a comic accurate Wolverine.
I think if they do go through with, like, how Venom is looking, he's kind of looking a lot like Ultimate Spider-Man style. And I think if they keep going with that, we might see, like, some sort of Ultimate stories, like, come into the Spider-Man universe.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Like, Venom 2, if it ever gets out due to this COVID, hashtag hell with COVID, if it ever gets out, like, I don't see any Spider-Man popping up in it. I think they're gonna do, like, they started with the Lethal Protector storyline. I think that's what they're gonna continue adapting. Now, how Carnage comes into it, I mean, everyone saw the post-credits scene. I don't know why he would want to fight Eddie. I guess that'll be explored, but, you know, as far as they showed, Eddie was, like, kind of doing him a favor. He wanted to interview Eddie Brock specifically, like, and without any pre-knowledge that he is Venom, you know, why would he just request Eddie Brock? You know, he was like pretty much slammed at the end of that movie, like, blackballed. He still had to, like, figure out his future.
Well,
Which can't be easy when you're hosting a parasite like that.
Well, something I think is, like, the parasite is already inside him, and it kind of can sense out the other symbiotes, so it's like, oh, you have Venom inside you, so I already know this, but, like, this guy doesn't know. So,
see, I didn't think of that. Maybe like, after Carnage, you know, because as weird as it sounds, it's pretty much, you know, Venom giving birth, kind of, how Carnage gets formed. Like, I really hope it's not like the storyline where Venom starts becoming like a lover to Eddie Brock, and the Carnage Venom is like, oh, I got to rebond with him. Or maybe that's it. Maybe Carnage is going to be like, well, if I'm this powerful with just a little bit, maybe I need the whole thing, you know? I think it could be really interesting. They did say in an interview a couple weeks back, though, that the only way Venom could feasibly fight Spider-Man would be in Spider-Man 3. And then you run the risk of doing the same thing they did with Maguire's Spider-Man films. You're going to have, like, you know, Venom, and then I think they said Craven is probably going to be the villain of it, and then the Sinister Six. You don't want like 12 different people for the guy to fight in one movie. That'll probably drag it down.
Yeah.
As long as they don't have Topher Grace as Venom, we should be okay. But,
well,
cautiously optimistic.
Well, the thing with Topher Grace is he was good as Eddie Brock. He was trash at Venom.
Well, see, I completely disagree. I think he was like, I don't know. When I hear Eddie Brock, I think of like a bodybuilder type dude. I mean, that's my problem. I grew up in the '90s watching the cartoon, but like Topher Grace, he looked more like symbiote Spider-Man with a bad attitude. You know, like he looked like a Mucinex monster gone bad. I felt like, I don't know. I think they could have done much better, but like everything online says that they were really rushed to just get it out there, and the director didn't even want to add Venom. He was, going to try to go for like a quadrilogy and get the 4 movies. Oh, there's your demonetization again. You got to get monetized first, so let's just take baby steps. But he didn't want him originally, and I think it would have been a better movie without Venom, and you could have set him up at the very end of Spider-Man 3 with having him just fight Sandman and Green Goblin.
Well, how I think they could do it is like with talking about Spider-Man fighting Venom in Spider-Man 3, how they could play it out is like Venom absorbs Carnage, gets the white spider on his chest, and then he arrives in Spider-Man 3. And that's how they could like mix in Ultimate Spider-Man.
See, I was having like my theory, my idea about it back then. I mean, obviously that wasn't the case, but I was wanting, at the very end, maybe post-credit scene, Eddie Brock's walking down the street, and he sees a news broadcast, and it's like, the Amazing Spider-Man swinging into action again. Thank you, Spider-Man. And then like he's like, who's that? He looks at it, and then like on his suit, the spider would form. And I always thought that would be a cool idea, but we didn't really get any connection. I want to say the Daily Bugle was mentioned in Venom, but they never mentioned what ran him out of New York. Like they'd have to fill in a lot of space, and Tom Holland, he can't be the reason that he was ran out of New York now, I mean, because there's just been too much happening. And you figure that like they would have gave us a prequel with Peter in a homemade spider suit fighting Venom. That would have been a thing if they had any plans to connect it. So I don't think that's probably going to happen unless Sony starts hemorrhaging money, which
well,
let's be honest, they're not going to do.
I mean, we kind of been ignoring Morbius this whole time, and we could.
No one's talking about it.
Yeah, like in the trailer for Morbius, we have Vulture, we have Venom. We have Spider-Man with the murderer spray painted over it. But the thing that catches my eye is it is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and not Tom Holland.
Yes, and I've noticed that too. And you see, I think what Sony is doing is they're letting Marvel use Spider-Man to lay down the foundation so that they can have a stable universe. Because with the multiverse theory, if you make Andrew Garfield canon, if you make Tobey Maguire canon, then like Sony has a just treasure trove that they can dive into. I'm personally excited for Morbius. He was always one of my favorite characters. Most people who like comics would probably hate me because I prefer the 90s cartoon version where he had like plasma eaters in his hands. Like he couldn't bite anyone's necks because of the censor's restrictions. So I thought that was a neat idea, a vampire with mouths in his hands, so he could just like grab you. But
here's something I think is that Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is gonna connect with Morbius, and like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is gonna come through a portal, and they're gonna get the wrong Spider-Man for murdering, or quote unquote murdering, Mysterio. They're gonna get the wrong Spider-Man, and I think that's why Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is painted instead of Tom Holland's.
Well, like I saw a theory the other day that Morbius will be in the Maguire universe, and see, it makes so much sense that the Multiverse of Madness could bring all this together. I think it was maybe 2 or 3 of the Maguire trilogy. No, it's 2. It's with Dr. Octopus. J. Jonah Jameson is trying to come up with a name for Doc Ock, and he's like, Doctor Strange. Well, no, that's taken. So the
Oh
fact that that's
yeah.
taken, the fact that Doctor Strange is taken and he knows that implies that one of two things: either Doctor Strange is a comic book in that universe, or that Doctor Strange is an established hero in that universe. And I mean, we never got outside of New York, so we don't really know. I mean, Tobey Maguire's same street that Doctor Strange is on, Bleecker Street. So, I mean, there's a lot. The MCU, they came out, and their whole idea was it's all connected. What if now, finally, it can be all connected? If Hugh Jackman comes back, even for a cameo, and that means that Wolverine, that look, that nature, that character Wolverine there, he exists with like in other universes, so they could just use him like whenever they want. They have a treasure trove of characters, especially since they got Fox now. I mean, I'm ready for them to bring Deadpool. That's what we need to figure out when Deadpool is going to be coming in the MCU. I personally think they should give him Stan Lee's cameo spots, like, or just have him in the background doing something stupid or mundane, buying a hot dog while like Thor and the Hulk are duking it out with somebody. I always thought that would be a neat way to do it. Or
Well,
even in the multiverse, have Doctor Strange open a portal and Deadpool look through him like, "What the hell is this?" and then
well,
just close it.
well, the scene in Deadpool 2 when he's like just going through the universes, fixing up the timelines, like they could introduce that in Doctor Strange 2, like, oh, he went into a different timeline. We don't see it in Deadpool 2, but this is the movie where we see it, and he has to like help Spider-Man and help himself get back to his own universe.
Now, I would love something like that, like a Deadpool, kind of like Ragnarok, like a buddy film. You know how you had Loki and Thor, like their dynamic, have Deadpool and someone else, like trying to get him back. Like, if anything, I want the scene in the MCU where all like the legit big time heroes are talking, and then Deadpool is like looking at the camera talking a bunch of nonsense, and then they all look at him and there's nothing there, like no camera, no nothing. He's just sitting there talking, like, who the hell's he talking to? And then you have one of the other heroes. Wade thinks he's on in a comic book or a TV show. I don't know. It's weird, like something like that. I just want a scene like that.
True. So my controller kind of died.
It
So
happens. Death is a natural part.
so we're gonna have to cut this one short, but we got some good topics covered, I think,
I believe so.
for the first one.
If anyone likes it, like, comment, subscribe, hit this guy up, let him know, and we got tons of Marvel theories, and hopefully they'll be a little bit more organized next time.
True. And subscribe to my buddy Carta Krimson on YouTube. Add him up on PSN, The Crimson. And that's spelled with a K. Don't get it twisted like Mortal Kombat.
That's right.
But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, all that stuff in the next one. Peace.
Laters.